Weightlifting, in its purest form, has existed for millennia. Early humans lifted and carried heavy objects out of necessity. This evolved into tests of strength. Stones, logs, and animals were lifted to prove power and virility. These feats of strength were often woven into cultural practices and mythology. Think of the ancient Greeks and their legendary strongmen. These early forms of weightlifting weren't just about brute force. They demanded balance, coordination, and mental fortitude. These qualities were revered in warriors and athletes. The link between strength and survival was undeniable. Weightlifting, although not formalized, was integral to ancient life. It was a celebration of the human potential for power and resilience. Fast forward to the late 19th century, a time of great change and innovation. Weightlifting started to emerge as a sport, gaining popularity among strongmen and athletes. Formal competitions began to take place across Europe and America, drawing crowds and fostering a competitive spirit. Different styles and rules emerged, with each region developing its own unique approach to the sport. However, the core principle remained the same: lift the heaviest weight possible, showcasing strength and endurance. The modern Olympic Games began in 1896, reviving the ancient tradition of athletic competition. Weightlifting was included in the very first Games in Athens, Greece, marking its debut on the world stage. This early version of Olympic weightlifting was far from standardized. The events were simple, focusing on raw strength. Athletes competed in one-hand lifts and two-hand lifts, demonstrating their versatility and power. There were no weight classes in these early games, meaning all athletes competed against each other regardless of size. This meant that lighter men were at a significant disadvantage, often competing against much larger opponents. Despite this, the inclusion of weightlifting in the Olympics gave the sport a global stage, attracting international attention. It set the stage for its evolution into the highly technical and competitive sport we know today, with refined techniques and strict regulations. The early 20th century saw weightlifting solidify its place in the Olympic Games. Rules became more standardized. Weight classes were introduced. This created a more level playing field for athletes of all sizes. The sport evolved. Two lifts emerged as the standard tests of strength, the snatch and the clean and jerk. These two lifts demanded not only raw power, but also technical precision and balance. One of the earliest weightlifting stars was Josef Steinbach. He was an Austrian weightlifter who dominated the super heavyweight class in the early 1900s. Steinbach's incredible strength and charisma helped to popularize the sport. Weightlifting was still finding its footing. However, the stage was set for its rise in popularity and the emergence of true legends. Following World War II, weightlifting, like many other sports, saw the rise of the Soviet Union as a dominant force. The post-war period was marked by a significant shift in global athletic power. The Soviets invested heavily in sports science and training programs, creating a robust infrastructure that supported their athletes. This systematic approach produced a string of Olympic champions who consistently brought home medals and set new records. They dominated the sport for decades, establishing a legacy that would be remembered for generations. Their success wasn't just about brute strength, it was also about precision and technique. Soviet athletes were known for their technical mastery of the lifts, which set them apart from their competitors. This era saw the emergence of legendary weightlifters like Vasily Alexeev, who became a symbol of Soviet prowess. Alexeev was a super heavyweight who broke over 80 world records, an unprecedented achievement in the sport. He embodied the Soviet dominance in the sport, showcasing their superior training and dedication. He became a national hero and a global icon in weightlifting, inspiring future generations of athletes. This era cemented the sport's reputation for pushing the limits of human strength and athleticism, setting new standards. It also highlighted the growing importance of training methods and technique, which became crucial elements in achieving success. Section 5. A changing landscape, weight classes and women's lifting. Weightlifting continued to evolve in the latter part of the 20th century. New weight classes were added. This ensured fair competition across a broader range of body weights. Perhaps the most significant development was the introduction of women's weightlifting to the Olympics in 2000. This landmark decision broke down barriers and brought a wave of new talent and excitement to the sport. Women like Tara Nott and Hossein Rezazadeh became Olympic champions. They inspired a new generation of athletes. The inclusion of women's weightlifting marked a pivotal moment. The sport was becoming more inclusive and globally representative. Section 6. Superstars of Strength, Legendary Figures. The history of Olympic weightlifting is rich with incredible athletes. These individuals pushed the boundaries of human strength. Their achievements are etched in the record books. Naim Suleimanoglu, nicknamed Pocket Hercules, was a Turkish weightlifter who won 3 consecutive Olympic gold medals. He was known for his incredible power-to-weight ratio. Pyros Dimas from Greece was another iconic figure. He won 3 Olympic gold medals and a bronze over 4 Olympic Games. These athletes, with their dedication, discipline and sheer power, have inspired generations of weightlifters. Their stories are woven into the fabric of the sport. Section 7. Doping scandals and reform, a cloud over the platform. The pursuit of ultimate strength, unfortunately, has a dark side. Doping. Athletes, driven by the desire to excel and break records, sometimes resort to using banned substances. Like many sports, weightlifting has been plagued by doping scandals. These incidents not only tarnish the reputation of the sport, but also affect the careers of many athletes. The use of performance-enhancing drugs casts a shadow over the sport. It creates an environment of mistrust and suspicion among competitors and fans alike. It undermines the spirit of fair play and calls into question the legitimacy of some records. The achievements of clean athletes are overshadowed by the actions of those who cheat. The governing bodies of weightlifting have implemented stricter drug testing protocols. These measures are designed to catch offenders and deter others from considering doping. They are working hard to eradicate doping from the sport. Through education and rigorous testing, they aim to create a culture of clean competition. The fight against doping is ongoing. It requires constant vigilance and the cooperation of athletes, coaches, and officials. It is crucial to protect the integrity of weightlifting and ensure a level playing field for all athletes. Only then can the true spirit of competition be preserved. This ongoing battle is a reminder that the pursuit of athletic glory should never come at the cost of ethical conduct and fair play. True champions are those who compete with honor and integrity. Section 8. Modern weightlifting technique and power. Modern Olympic weightlifting is a highly technical and precise sport. Athletes spend years honing their technique. They work with coaches to develop the strength and explosiveness needed to lift massive weights. The 2 Olympic lifts, the snatch and the clean and jerk, require incredible full-body coordination. The snatch is a single, fluid movement. The bar is lifted from the ground to overhead in a single, explosive motion. The clean and jerk is a 2-part lift. The bar is first cleaned from the ground to the shoulders, then jerked overhead. The margin for error is tiny. A slight miscalculation in balance or timing can mean the difference between a successful lift and a missed attempt. Section 9. The future of the snatch and clean and jerk. Weightlifting faces challenges as it looks to the future. The sport is battling to overcome the shadow of doping scandals. It needs to attract a new generation of athletes and fans. However, the future of weightlifting is not without promise. The sport continues to evolve. New training techniques and technologies are emerging. These advancements are helping athletes to train smarter and push the limits of human potential even further. Weightlifting's inclusion in major multi-sport events like the Olympics ensures its global visibility. With a continued focus on clean sport and athlete development, weightlifting has the potential to captivate audiences for generations to come. Section 10. Weightlifting's enduring appeal. Weightlifting at its core is a celebration of human potential. It is a test of raw power, technical precision, and unwavering mental focus. The sport has come a long way from its ancient origins, from simple feats of strength to a highly competitive Olympic event. Its journey reflects the human desire to constantly push boundaries. Weightlifting is more than just a sport. It is a metaphor for life's challenges. It teaches us that with dedication, discipline, and unwavering belief in ourselves, we can overcome any obstacle. As long as humans are driven to test their limits, weightlifting will continue to inspire and amaze. The pursuit of strength in its purest form is timeless.